Welcome to North Talk, information of the gods. I am Red Bearded Viking. This is Red Dranger. And tonight, you guys, we have two amazing guests with us. We got Fuck.
I don't know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it. Bearded, welcome, brother. How's it going?
Just so you guys, I am in the process of putting together an outtake for North Talk for some of this shit. So, like, I'm going through all the stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
We've done like 15 episodes of Norse Talk, and we have 6.5 hours of blooper footage already. Holy fuck!
Together, like, and put it out there for the end of the Havamal. So there'll be a bloopers reel just Havamal.
So
I should seriously like start.
We want to have another go at this or what?
And take.
Yeah.
We need one of those things.
Take 4.
Straight up, I could make one. I have the hinges and shit.
What are we making?
I'm gonna make a Norse themed fucking clicky clacker.
That'd be
I don't know the word for it.
Film clicky clacker.
The clicky clacker thing.
The fucking starter.
Yeah. Why'd you put so much shoulder into it? You're like,
Take 2. I have
We're on
little
take
shoulders. I didn't put that much into it. It's just that much bigger than me.
oh no. Oh no.
No.
Dude, you need to make one. You need to make one, and then you need to make like a giant one to send me. And we'll do a video with you holding it and holding it.
Yeah, I'll make a little one. And
You
then
need the
I'll
Jaws theme song.
I'll make one out of like a 4x4 piece of like 5/8 plywood and send it to you. It'll be like massive. Okay, do we want to try this again?
We'll just have it. You hand it to me through the screen, and I'll pull this big ass one out.
What in the Wonka fucking vision just happened there? Okay, Red Dude.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there's the little thing. Melissa's got
Yeah,
it.
I'm sorry. That is no.
Or
Who just
That
did it?
so did.
I'm sorry.
What?
Who's saying they're sorry right now? I'm tripping balls.
My oldest is in here.
Hi, Giggles. Are you taller than your mother?
stand next to her.
First off, she can't hear you. And yes,
Well, that's not fair.
they're asking if you're taller than me.
By an inch.
Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba.
We'll stand
Like
up.
all Vikings, need to
Job's out there if
village
you're
effort.
looking.
Nothing to contribute to life. A job. You're not even talking in
Okay.
complete sentences,
Get
bro.
on your knees.
No,
Like-
no. Like I can send you want dads if you need a job. Like
Yeah.
we
Hello.
She was way taller than me, so I'm like, no, you had to get on your knees. So I'm like right here, and she's like way up here, and I'm like, yeah, no, on your knees. Are you going to bed?
all right.
Holy fuck! There's
All right,
there's
have a good
250
night. Sleep
people in
tight.
here right now.
Holy crap!
In 3, 2. Welcome to Norse Talk, Information of the Gods. I am Red Bearded Viking. This is Red Dranger, and welcome you guys. Tonight we have two amazing special guests tonight with us. We got Giggles and we got Morgana Purdy, and we're going to be going over stanzas 30 and 31 in the study hall tonight, you guys. So I just want to say how great it's been to have so many people jumping into the live lately and following. You've all been really amazing, and it's been a great time. I love to see the way North Talk is growing and how many people are being involved in it, and just the fun that we've been having on North Talk lately has just been amazing. And I'm going to turn it over to Red and let him talk a little bit and get his aspect on things.
Yeah, just want to say thank you to our two awesome guests. We have Giggles and Morgana with us tonight. They're both very, very gifted content creators. So if you guys aren't already following both their pages, it's definitely worth the follow. They do some amazing stuff. Currently, there's 220 people in here, so I'm guessing we got some new faces in here. So what we do here, guys, is we go through Norse pagan literature together. We are all Norse pagans of different. We've all been practicing for different amount of times. We all come from different walks of life. We all have different experiences and have walked different paths, just like everybody in the comments here. So what we do is we come together and we go over some of the stanzas in the Havamal and some other literature, and basically we just discuss our points of view. Everybody is going to have different things pop out at them based on this kind of life that they've lived personally. Different things are going to trigger memories, senses, so on and so forth. And we found that the easiest way to do our studying to get the most out of it is to do it together, because every time we read a verse together, one of us will pick up on something that the other one didn't. And we all walk away with a bit of a broader view of not just what we believe the stanza means, but what it means to other people. And that's incredibly important in a community as well. So that's what we're doing here tonight, guys. We're very happy to have you here. And if you guys want to participate, if you have any questions about the stanzas while we're reading them, feel free to put them in the comments. If the comments are going by really fast and you can't get your question in there, if you go to Redbeard's main page, there is a Beacons link with a Norse Talk Discord in it. I'm in that Discord's Q&A section right now, so if during the episode you guys have a question, throw it in there and I will do my best to answer it for you.
And with the people we have in here tonight, I want each of you, like you guys have been guests on the show before, but please, we'll start off with Giggles. Just kind of tell everybody about yourself, give them a little bit of history on you, and a little bit about what you do here on TikTok.
I giggle.
That's factually accurate. She's the most accurately known TikTok creator of all time.
I've been on the Norse pagan path for about a year now. I started out when I found out my ancestry. 43% Scottish, Norway, and Irish. And the more I dug in, the more I felt like this was right. And I found these two gentlemen up here. And at the time, I was just buying books galore because I had no clue where to start. And then they're like, hey, you need to read this book. And then when Norse Talk happened, I absolutely fell in love. And except for a couple of times, I've never missed an episode.
Yeah, Giggles is, yeah, except for the band that you was that the one that you well earned, or was that the one that you didn't well earn? No, that was the one that you well earned.
No, I did not earn the band. I actually had a shirt on, okay? It was the most I had ever been covered up, and I got a band.
Didn't you get a ban around that time too for like going off on somebody or something like that? Was that you? Mm-hmm. No, I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm sorry. Anyway, we'll kick it over to Morgana. Tell everybody about yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Morgana, and I am a content creator here on TikTok, and I've been a pagan for at least 16 years. I come from a Christian and Catholic background, and Presbyterian too. and I started Norse Pagan like 2 years ago. And then I found them, Red Dranger and Red Beard and Giggles like a year ago. So, and then they are the people that I found on TikTok.
And Dranger, give everybody because a little bit of your background.
Your audio just completely cut out. I'm assuming you just asked about my background. I've been a practicing Norse pagan for 7.5, 8 years. I don't really want to get too much into what brought me to the path. I would like to say that finding this community of Norse pagans on TikTok, especially during the pandemic when we were all stuck inside, and practicing Norse pagans in North America, they're far and few between. There's not a lot of us that live close to each other. So finding this community on TikTok has been a really amazing thing because I've gotten to learn so much from all of you guys.
Yeah, and I come from a Christian background. I grew up Catholic. I converted to other Christianity. I was really involved in Christian way for a long time, but never my place or felt right to me. And then I found out about my Norse heritage and my descendants from Norway, and I started researching the old ways and the old gods. And during the pandemic, I started getting into TikTok and found Red. And I remember the first time me and Red physically talked, he was on a live, and I asked him Milner. And he said, "Hey, I'm live. Go ahead and jump in, and we'll talk." And so we talked in the live, and then me and him became friends, and we started the Red Room, which was, just filled with shenanigans, hanging out, fun, but also, kind of bringing together the North community that we were starting to do, and we kind of steamrolled that developing. Because when I first came into TikTok, a lot of people were real supportive with what books to read, what direction to go, and then we had a lot of issues that happened. And everybody kind of cleaned up and it quit. And so I didn't really have a lot of places to start again. And so I approached the idea of starting a study group or a book club for reading different Norse books, just to help gain knowledge from other people, their viewpoint, their aspect, and get more out of it, and actually more dive studying, reading it. And so, Red was on board, and I first talk and start this, and we're on our second book, and we started a YouTube for it, so people could view the episodes if they missed it and everything. And we started putting up for Norse talk and just different things, Discord, where we have different stuff in the Discord for learning folklore. We have gaming things in there. We have places to show us their artwork, which we're actually going to be starting to feature Norse art on Norse Talk, and like taking somebody's piece of art and just showing it out. And we're going to be starting to well. So if you're involved in that, jump on the Discord, drop your art in the art page, and me and Peter will be picking stuff out of the show on Norse Talk and just kind of give a shout out, because so many people in the Norse community do different things, and we love how amazing all these people are that we want to share.
Yeah. Redbeard, is your data on? Because your audio was in and out a decent amount during that.
No, it's off.
Okay. I did see a question while everybody was talking there about who's welcome to the live kind of thing.
Everyone.
Nobody in here is going to discriminate against you based on your color, creed, who you're attracted to, what really. You don't even have to be Norse pagan to be here. You can be any faith-based you want.
No,
this is about building. Yeah, there are causes. Yeah, we each do. So again, this is TikTok. This is a creators app. We all found each other by doing creative content. But like an onion, people are a little bit more complicated than the 2-minute videos that they post every day. So this community has come together, and people similar belief systems and curiosities about the literature have come together, and that's what we're doing here today.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and kick off the stanzas. Start with stanza tonight, you guys. And as always, we're each going to read a different verse from the stanzas. I'm actually going to read out of the words of Odin, the Havamal, which is the same as Bray in the study Havamal. So let me get to stanza 30. So here we go again. 30. Let no man be held as a laughing stock, though he come as a guest for a meal. Wise enough seem many, while they sit dry-skinned and are not put to proof.
So Thorpe's version, he says, "For a gazing stock no man shall have another, although he come a stranger to his house. Many a one thinks himself wise, if he is not questioned, and can sit in a dry habit."
And then Bella said, "In mockery, no and man shall hold, although he fares to the feast, like seem one oft, if naughty he is acts a safety, he sit and dry skinned."
And then I have the wondrous Havamal, and it says, "No one should ridicule anyone else, even if he comes visiting. Many a man seems wise if he is never questioned, and he gets too bored with dry skin."
And for me, I went on to further stanzas and find other avenues, because this one, just by the study Havamal itself, I was having a little bit of trouble interpreting it. But the more I researched into other interpretations of stanza, what I am getting out of this stanza was, cut people slack. When we're around friends, when you're gathered around friends and family, and you have that person that, to you, they embellish out of themselves and everything. Don't point it out and don't make a fool of them. The close friends and family. If this is somebody that's like kin to you or anything like that, because a lot of times they're coming from a place that they just want attention. And we don't always have to make people and point out their flaws. So, cut them some slack and just don't make a fool out of the people that are close to them and make them look like, recognize who they are and for what they're trying to do. Just even if some of the stuff, let them have their moment.
Yeah, no, that's really fitting. For me, it really, I kind of really keyed in on the part about how do I put this in the proper words? If you're on the path and you've been on the path for a long time, whatever your path is, I'm just gonna pull into random thoughts here. Let's say you're a welder, or a millwright or something like that, and that's been your path. That's your career. That's what you do. That's your passion, and you work at that every day. Somebody that has done that their entire life and has put that much effort into it, you're never going to see one of those people making fun of somebody who's just learning to change their first tire, or who's struggling with rebuilding a carburetor, a piece of technology that hasn't been used in some time, because they've walked it, they've been there. What we see modernly a lot is the armchair quarterbacks. You got people that have an idea of how they perceive things to be, and that becomes law to them, and they'll ridicule people. I mean, we're seeing it happen in the comment section currently, which is kind of funny for tonight. I'm pretty sure that's why Giggles gave that look to the camera that she did when she was reading her verse. If you come in acting a fool and not looking around before you open your mouth, you're missing out. You are guaranteed to miss your mark because you've not taken the time to assess the situation that you're in, and you've shown that you're not capable of doing that, because somebody that has walked that path, somebody that is in that frame of mind and state of that mind, doesn't need to do that. They've already shown they already have their own renown. They have their own self-confidence. They have their own self-worth because they've done it. They've walked the path. Whatever it is. The slogan, "The empty can rattles the most," is very, very true. And an empty can is useless. It sits there. It does nothing until something's put into it, until it finds a purpose again. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
about, yeah. I'll kick it to you there, Gigs. What's your take on it?
Kind of the same thing as you. I mean, when I think about this, like I work in retail or like with the public and everything like that, and you can always tell going from like one store to another. I've worked at clothing stores, I've worked at grocery stores, I've worked everywhere, and other people can tell where I've worked because if I go into a clothing store and I look at a shirt, I'll put it back exactly how they had it. And some people are like, "You've worked retail." And it's like, yeah, because I go in and, oh, just because they're a Walmart employee doesn't mean, you should just make a mess of everything. It's
Yeah, exactly.
kind of like what I took.
Yeah, you got to treat people with that level of respect. If your goal is to ridicule somebody, you're just showing that you're the lost one. I mean, I'm just going to make a quick example, and I don't usually do this, but with everything that's going on in the political theater right now, the biggest troll question when it comes to cosplayers is talking about what would happen if there was some sort of conflict. Because, oh, what would these people do? And, oh, we cosplayers were screwed. If you've just jumped into a live with 4 people who you've never met and you don't know where they've been or what they've done, and you're making a stupid comment like, you don't know who you're sitting in front of. We don't know who you guys are. We know what the face value of this is, and a wise person takes the time to make an educated opinion before you start peeking. And if you're not, then that's what you're here to do. That is your purpose. You are that jeerer. You are that person that's and everybody sees you for it. And
Right.
that is the quickest way to limit your ways of moving forward. And I know that it's a little bit different with the internet because people can kind of do it without consequences nowadays. But in social groups and in a group of people, if you're that one person that's cutting everybody down, you're the black sheep.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know why you're doing it. You know what I mean? We've walked the path. We've earned our self-conduct, our convictions, our beliefs in ourselves, and so on and so forth. So it's ineffective against people like that. And it just comes across as foolish.
I agree. So what was your take, Morgana?
What I got out of it is don't put yourself higher than anybody else. That you could become the fool in the laughing stock in the room. Because you don't know what the situation is. I come from a family that my mom was in a wheelchair, so I had to learn not to go after those people for making fun of my mom. So, and the last part is I would be the fool because my mom's like, they don't know better. They don't know better. And so if I go after them, then I'm the fool now. So
everybody's capable of falling down.
See, and this stanza really for me, because I am the black sheep in my. So like, I'm the one that like when we go, there's been family gatherings up. I'm the brunt end of everybody's jokes. Everybody wants me, and they like don't understand how me feel. But what to top it off is like whenever I lash back out, and I talk about somebody else's shortcomings. Everybody gets on my case and they're like, well, they made a mistake once. You shouldn't even be bringing that up. It's like hush hush, but nobody's got a problem using me as the example.
Yeah.
And so it's like this really resonates with me because I can relate with the aspect of being the person that I wish people would just cut me some slack and
Exactly.
not like use me of everything and use me as fun as a joke.
Yeah. Nobody can predict when their path is going to change. You could do something your entire life and you can be that guy that has made fun of people in wheelchairs or has made fun of whatever stupid thing it is that you're doing. None of us can predict the path in front of us. None of us can predict what's going to happen tomorrow. And fate and the universe have a way of teaching people those kind of lessons. Humility will be forced upon you if you do not learn it yourself, because everybody falls down. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. You can be the coolest guy in your class or coolest guy on your job site, and tomorrow morning you could walk out of the Porter John fall and break your ass bone in front of 30 people. You know what I mean? That's now what you're known for. So
And I feel like
right?
I feel like a lot of times like people use the black sheep like me to not have to deal with their own shortcomings.
Exactly.
To try and people talking about what they did or something that they did. Like as soon as something starts brought up about them, we're like the scapegoats. Like it's like they immediately attack the black when anything's brought up about them.
Yeah.
Just
deflecting.
And like the black sheep are like the scapegoats.
Yeah, it's classic deflection, right? Like if you can escape yourself from either having to take accountability or having to deal with something eternally by just focusing and I mean from a psychological kind of perspective, it's not really hard. Like when you do get certain people that jump in and say certain things as a trolling comment, it's not hard to not see the trauma on their poor faces and what it is in there that's making them say that kind of stuff. And I get that because I've been there. We all have. It just seems like people crying for help to me, and it just makes me sad. You know what I mean? Like and I just want to say that we still have 314 people in here right now, and I know a lot of these people are not typical Norse pagan people that sit here and do this kind of book reading with us, but you guys are still here, and I just want to say I appreciate that, and I'm not trying to pass judgment. We all have pain. We have all said something to another person that we shouldn't have because we were angry, or because in that one moment we thought it would give us something that we felt we needed. And the truth is that it doesn't. It's deflection is a temporary fix. And it's one of those things that get worse with time. If you're that kind of person that blames people and attacks people and doesn't look at yourself, that becomes habit forming really quickly. And it becomes really, really quickly to all of a sudden look back behind you and realize you're up against a wall because nobody's got your back anymore. Because instead of saying you needed help, you went on the attack. You know what I mean? People are here to help.
And
go ahead, bud.
It's like with people like me. So like I use humor to with my real life and everything that's happened. Like, I do a lot of shit to get people laughing because I want them laughing with me instead of laughing at me.
Laughing at you, yeah.
And by being the comic relief, doing the shit that I do, because it deflects from the trauma, it deflects from the reality of what I've been through, and it
Mm-hmm. Giggles, do you have anything to add to this one before we move on to the next one? Same with you, Morgana?
I just wish instead of breaking people down, because it's so easy for everyone to make fun of everybody, other people, I wish it was a normal to build people up instead of breaking them down.
No,
That's
I
all I
agree.
wish.
The next stanza that we're gonna get into, guys, is very, very relevant for tonight, and you guys are all gonna get a good laugh when we start making our way through it.
All right, so stanza
Pay
31.
attention to the, yeah, pay attention to the takes to.
So in stanza, Bray says, a guest thinks him witty who mocks the guest and runs from his wrath away. But none can be sure who jests at a meal that he makes no fun among foes.
So Thorpe's translation of this stanza is: clever thinks himself a guest who jeers a guest. If he takes to flight, knows it not certainty. He who prates at meat, whether he babbles among foes.
Bello says a guest held it to take to his heels with mocks of others he makes, but like he knows who laughs at the feast, though he mocks in the midst of his foes.
And then from the Wanderess, I have a man may seem wise if he pokes fun at another and disdains a fellow guest, but the man who talks behind another man's back knows little, even if he laughs with men.
And, you know, Dranger mentioned it, so I'm going to let him kick off the discussion on this of how it ties in.
Sean, I am just going to quickly just remember, we do have a bunch of new guests that have just popped in and that are asking questions.
40.
Yeah. What we are doing here right now is working through Norse paganism literature together as a community. There are a lot of Norse pagans in the comments right now. There are a lot of non-Norse pagans in the comments. We are currently working through the study Havamal and a couple of other different translations of different stanzas that are in that book. Currently, we are on stanza 31. No, not D&D, but you know, I've never actually played it. Actually, we'll talk about that later. So my view on this stanza, I really kind of keyed in on the take to flight. You don't want to be that guy that shows up somewhere, causes a big scene because you're mad, and then if you leave, you think that everybody that is still there is going to support what you've done, the actions that you've taken, because you made a big scene or whatever. You know, those people are that's gonna affect your legacy with those people too, your renown with those people as well. If you're not at the table, you don't know who your foes are. If you're not at the table, you don't know who your friends are. So if you're acting in a way that takes you away from that environment, that takes you away from that scenario, because running your mouth or saying something or making a point that nobody else but you gives a shit about is so important, then you choose the consequences of that. You choose not being able to know what the thoughts and actions of the people still at that table are. And that is true. You know, if you, we use the term burn your bridge or burning bridges a lot modernly. If you are on a soccer team, and again, I'm just picking random shit. If you're on a soccer team and you've been on that team for 2 years and all of a sudden there's a new player that you don't like, and instead of sucking it up or working it out with that person, you go into the change room one day, blow a fucking fuse, throw a fucking haymaker, walk out and say you're never coming back again. That team is still going to play that night. You're just not going to be there. That team is still going to build memories. They're still going to develop their skills. They're still going to push forward. You're just not going to be there because of your choice. That's the foolish choice. There are multiple ways to deal with every problem. There are multiple ways to work out every problem. If you're not going to put that effort into it and you're just going to blow up and run away and not come back, not try to fix it, not try to work through it, you're showing your own character. And you'll be known for that. People will see that.
See, for me, Stanza was written for the bull. Those guys out there that or gals, you know, people in general, that just feel the need to always put up because they have something inadequate in their life that they choose instead of dealing with their own problems, they choose to put everybody else down to away from themselves. And to me, it's saying basically either chime in and stop what's going on or walk away, but don't be part of it. You don't make yourself part of the mockery. Don't make yourself part. You know, pick somebody else to make yourself.
Yeah,
it's just like the biggest thing that stuck out for me with this stanza was it's speaking to the bully. And for you to not participate with the, you know, don't be that guy that jumps on it just because everybody else is laughing. Be that person that either stands up to stop what's going on or walks away from the situation and says, I'm not going to be part of this because this is wrong. That's what I got out of it.
I like that. I really like that. So thinking about what you just said reminded me of the tapestry theory. Everything that takes place in your life is sewn into your tapestry. Once you take an action, there's nothing you can do to undo that. You might be able to fix the consequences of it, but you'll never be able to completely undo the fact that you made that choice. And our lives are built and our tapestries are built by the choices and the things we do and do not do. And the theory that Redbeard just put out there about thinking about those actions is important because, again, that is your tapestry. That is what you are dragging behind you that others will use to, I don't want to say judge you, but they will make assessment of you based on that, right? That they talk about, so again, the word fame, renowned, and glory modernly are very different. Like when I say renowned kind of back then more referred to reputation. You have the reputation, you have the good renown of somebody that has done a lot of good for the community or somebody that's done a lot of bad for the community. Your renowned is what you were judged for because this was a group of people that needed each other to survive. These communities had to work together because you could not do it all by yourself back then. You didn't have the technology, you didn't have the ability, you didn't have the medical science. You needed people around you. So if you had somebody come into that group that had that philosophy, that me first philosophy, selfish philosophy, they then start becoming a drain to that group. They become something that group has to manage instead of something that's participating and making that group better. It's nature.
Yeah.
I guess basically it's don't be a puppet. Take the hand out of your ass and fucking go do your own thing.
Absolutely. Stand your ground. Dig your heels in.
It's all about your reputation. If you're known for picking on people or saying bad stuff, why would you be invited to a party with all the friends in group?
Okay,
right.
TikTok is a great, and I'm going to make a reference without using any content creators' names. But this is a thing we happen. We all know of a few creators that have had pages before the ones that they have now, where the things they've said and the things and how they've treated other people is completely different than what they're putting forward now. Nobody forgets about that stuff back there. It doesn't go away. It can be eased. It doesn't go away. If you want to be known as the guy that goes online, makes fun of people in wheelchairs, makes fun of people based on their skin color or hair color or eye color or faith or whatever, man, you want to sew that into your story, fill your boots. It's your story. But it's not going to be a very nice read.
I've got something to add to that. I want to hear their aspect before I answer it, but it does tie.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Giggles.
No, I don't.
Your take on the stanza.
I already said it.
Yeah, she already said it.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Morgana.
Well,
How many gummies have you had?
it reminds me of a quote saying you are 5 seconds away from a good decision or 5 seconds away from a bad decision in your life.
Yeah.
So when you were saying that, I'm like, oh, well, that reminds me of a quote that I just read. Also, people need to quit being followers and be leaders.
Yeah.
So we should, just kind of mind your own business sometimes too.
Yeah.
Not
Morgan,
that goes around.
you just made such an amazing point. We live in a modern society right now where individualism is key. Everybody believes they are superstars. They're the best. They can't be beaten. They're this, they're that, they're that. You know, everybody has that mentality. But it's almost unearned in this modern world that we live in, because everything we are an instant gratification culture. Everything that we need is at our fingertips for the most part. And again, I'm saying on the grand scale. Believe me, I understand that in the modern world there are people struggling, there are people hurting, there are people that can't get the basics, and I am not in any way saying that everybody has that. But for the most part, across the board, there are certain societal standards that are available for most people. That safety net didn't exist. And if that was removed from modern people, society would fall apart, because nobody knows how to work with each other anymore. Nobody knows. Well, we depend on the state instead of our neighbors. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a very, very different philosophy. And that is monotheism. That was the change. When the conversion happened across Europe, it was that faith and the gods and the spirits was part of nature. It moved, and every aspect of nature existed in that, because it's real, it's there, it's present. You can't not say that it's there. Monotheism came in, they really started to subcategorize that, and they said certain aspects of that were real, certain aspects of them weren't, certain aspects were desirable, certain aspects weren't. And the state, the church, at that point, not the faith, not the God, the church, the people, the men, women that ran the church, made that moral decision on what was acceptable and what wasn't acceptable. And that is how the statehood started. And we still live that way. If one of us loses a job tomorrow, chances are we're going to go apply for income assistance until we get another job. Or we're going to do this, we're going to do that. That shit didn't happen.
Stop.
Exactly. You know what I mean? You had only the people around you and your own abilities. Nobody gave a shit what your followers were. Nobody gave a shit how flashy your chain was or how shiny your car was or any of that kind of crap. You're renowned and your fame was based on what you provided and what you could do, not what you had. And that is a fundamental flip in philosophy compared to the way these people looked at faith and community.
Right. Well, and it, like, a lot of what you were kind of, because it's like, so like, it doesn't really tie in reality world, but just like with what was going on Tuesday on Norris Talk and all the shenanigans and everything. And, you know, Dranger had mentioned everybody's trying to be a superstar, but like, if it wasn't for Earth,
that wind. You have to say fire.
Fire.
Water.
There's a reason why you made me pick that one, didn't you?
Water. Yeah. Fucking witches can never be Captain Planet, because it's because of all of us that she gets to be Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Like, she can't do it alone. She powers combined. No, but tying back to the whole TikTok thing, that's what I was going to bring back up toward after everybody got to view their opinion, is going into something me and Dranger were about on Discord. And so there's been a lot of pop-ups of Christian pastors back in the community, other Christian attacking the Norse community and making these videos. And like going back to this stanza, like one of the things that me and Dranger decided to do a long time ago is we're not going to jump on the train of everybody like doing these things because all you're doing is boosting their page. Instead, me and Dranger choose to walk away from the situation. To if it's brought up, express our opinion on the situation and be like, we don't agree with it. We're not going to counterattack. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that because we are not going to contribute to the bad situation going on. We're not going to AKA be the bullies.
Yeah.
We're not going to bully people back just because they're bullying. You know what? Because that's what they want. They want for us to come back at them so they can be like, see, this is how these people are. It's not something that we're willing to do. It's we stand for who we stand for, and we produce what we stand for by the actions that we take, by showing who we are, not by verbalizing who we believe we are and counter it. It's, you know what? Our actions speak for themselves. We don't need to make these videos go back after people to prove who we are. We need to be us and just need to follow our path and do the right thing. You know what? When that stuff pops up, you guys, quit going back after them. Don't AKA be the bull.
There's
Kill him with kindness.
There is a fundamental, and I don't remember the number of the stanza, so please apologize to me. Speaking out against wrongdoing, speaking against wrongdoers is a fundamental built-in thing with Norse paganism and most faiths. We do see a lot of people that will use that saying as why they have to go after these people. We have to remember modernly that we're on TikTok, we're on an app, we're on a very carefully created social media platform that is designed to reward and punish accounts for certain things that they do or do not do. These groups of people, there is a new subsection of renowned seekers that come into TikTok and their numbers are all they care about. They don't care about what they're doing. They don't care, and getting that number is important. So saying or doing something controversial gets them that attention. It gets people angry. It gets them duetting them. It gets them engaging with their page. Their numbers blow up and they explode and they get what they wanted. It's artificial.
And that's the thing. That's the thing.
Most of these people don't even believe the things that they're saying. They're saying it for the reaction, not because they believe it.
See, and there's a lot of out there. Me and Dranger may speak about privacy, our opinions of what's going on, but by all means, we may see something and we know that their whole purpose is not truality, but number wise. We don't make a point of trying to keep people out. We let them do their thing. But, you know, we don't try and tear other people down because once again, we are on a entertainment platform. So we got to realize a lot of people here for the person the purpose. That's their purpose. What they're producing is a lie or not. It's not my place to call them out because we're on an entertainment platform for entertainment. You know, we're finding community, we're finding knowledge within it. But ultimately, this is for entertainment. And quit attacking people to entertain.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, we've gotten so used to categorizing people, and there is no movement anymore when it comes to that. I mean, you go back 20 years, you go back 10 years, you go back 5 years. When you look at how people interact with each other, it's linear. There's a center, there's a right, there's a left. Okay? On the extreme end of both of those things, bad things happen. And as people move away from that center, communication breaks down, bad things happen. Coming at a social media app coming out of
Squirrel.
social media, and we've seen this comment like a few times, like, "Oh my God, you guys are cosplayers, and you do Viking-based cosplay sometimes, so you can't be Norse pagan because I don't like Viking cosplayers."
Holy
Get
galaxy!
get fucked. Like, we don't like people.
5 galaxies in a row.
Whoever is sending the galaxies, thank you.
I did not see the galaxies at all. They did not appear on my screen.
4 in a row popped up, so I had to say
Oh,
something because
no, that's fine.
starting to upload it. Those will show up on the YouTube, so I had to say something.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything to add to this last stanza, or can we shut our books and just kind of chill and hang out and kind of see what some of the community
At this
members
point, we just kind of keep rolling. We finished the 2 stanzas. I think just keep rolling, how it's going and the conversation going. Like, I love to hear the different. I love the fact that we have addressed the entertainment platform of this, but we've also addressed the whole. Everything we addressed tonight is legit, and like, you know, the more comfortable we're getting with doing North, the more fun it's getting, the more shenanigans. Because like we definitely don't want to take away from the message that we're trying to carry. But we're getting more comfortable with how we're doing it, which is allowing us to have a little bit more fun with it. But also being able to gain knowledge and pass knowledge at the same time. Like, I like that we're keeping it light, we're keeping it fun, but we're also addressing realities of what's going on in the world, realities of what's going on in our lives, and reality of what's going on in TikTok.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, we all showed up here tonight, fucking our teeth on. 3 of us are wearing elf ears. We got 2 tiara, and we got that. Dranger lost his hat, like, off in the wind.
The face filter kept making my head go like that's why I had my fucking hat on, so I had to. Yes.
So what if it went like that?
I kept the teeth in. So can we explain, because that has been a very big part of the comments tonight, is a lot of these new people jumping in, going, "Oh, what is this, a LARP? What are these trolls? What are these?" No. Right before the episode started, and this is how easy this is, right before the episode started, we decided all to grab a little bit of our cosplay stuff, throw it on, and not say anything during the episode. Because we were going to be talking about the people that come in and judge without thinking or beforehand. These stanzas were about that. And we decided we were going to do something that was going to encourage that kind of behavior, and it happened. All of this stuff is based in nature. It's based in reality. It's based in how humans deal with each other. It exists. It doesn't matter if you believe in certain gods or certain goddesses or certain rites or any of that stuff, certain magics, runes, whatever floats your boat. But the living world exists. How people deal with each other exists. You cannot get away from that. And the fundamentals that we're talking about in this particular book mirror faith-based and cultural practices of like just about every other warrior-based culture. And I mean warrior-based on the technical term, not the that's all they did thing. It was a code of community supporting each other and being honor-bound. Is the warrior culture reference that I'm talking about. And all we had to do was put on fangs and ears and hats, and we had 550 people in there.
It all started out. I looked into the pre-Discord call before we called the other 2 tonight, and I was like, I had my fangs on. I was like, I know Giggles and Morgana have fangs. We should all wear fangs tonight, and we'll just ignore the comments if anybody says anything, and we'll just roll with it. And then Morgana and Giggles both went and got their elf ears, so I got my elf ears. And then they put on their tiaras. And then, like, we jump into live and they're both wearing contact.
Warrior-based cultures.
Yeah, I knew you had your contacts in.
So, yes,
told you.
there is a stigma with some warrior-based, and I really want to break this word down because I did use it. Again, warrior-based cultures does not just mean that they were all warriors, they were all fighters, they were all just fighting and male masculinity and fucking all this kind of shit. That looks badass, by the way. Warrior culture in itself was a code of ethics, and with Norse paganism, the other gender. I don't want to start labeling gender names or whatever because that fucking fires people up. They were seen as equals in that. Raiding parties were mixed with the genders. Defending your home was mixed with that. Everybody was equal on that standing. You were judged about what you did and what your actions were, not what you look like, what your height was, what your gender was. Nobody gave a shit about that kind of stuff. They didn't have time for it. Right? There was a job. Well, I mean, it's true. That's the way it boils down to. We're so privileged in this world that we live in that we think that we should be able to tell other people how that they should interact inside of our tiny little bubble. Get fucked. Like, if you got time to care about that, then you're not looking at the real world yourself anyway. Like,
all I gotta say, Dranger, is once we finally meet, we're going to the gym and we're doing that.
Yes. I'll hold you.
Oh my god.
Like Simba.
That was that video fucking killed me, man. I didn't put blind reaction on that one for a very specific reason because I did watch it and had laughed at it so many times that I knew I was going to be laughing before anything funny happened in that video. So I was like, no, this is just fucking funny shit. Okay, so I'm just going to take a minute and try to see if I can spot any questions in the comments here.
Like, I'm totally getting the Dark Queen and the Light Elf Queen vibe, and like, I'm just ready for them to battle.
Not just gods and goddesses, but ancestors, spirits, land spirits. The pantheon of different things that were worshipped in Norse paganism is actually rather large, and it was interesting because not all Norse pagans, even in traditional. You guys all see that you're not real Norsemen, you're not real Norwegians, you're blah, 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 all that fucking bullshit that these guys pop in here and say.
I'm Norwegian.
The traditional beliefs of people in that day and age, from village to village, could be so polar opposite between you. You could have a group of people that were Thor's men. You could have a group of people that all they worshipped was the ancestors because in their frame of mind, the gods were the original ancestors. It's like an onion. Very complicated, very multifaceted, and always different.
It has layers.
People that also were like these worship two different gods and goddesses, and they were living almost the same regions too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, Stranger's Canadian.
I love how they automatically assume that you're American.
No, they asked if he is Canadian.
No, she did, but up above it said something about you're all American. So
yeah, there's been and again that's ignorance is rather loud. Anybody that jumps into a live and has been here for under 10 minutes and is speaking off about faith or beliefs or their people or any of that kind of shit, it's the funniest stuff in the world because they are that very slim group of people that the real group doesn't want to deal with because they're fucking morons.
Right, and the most amazing is if you want to continue to hear what's going on here, then you're going to have to catch doing it. We reset out. So we are going to end North Side, guys. We are going to continue this in the Q&A, and we will probably go a little off script, a little crazy. So that's what you guys are looking for. Like, there's still 300 people. Please join us in the Red Room afterwards for North Talk. We love every one of you. One Giggles, Anything you guys say before we Q&A?
Nope.
Morgana,
Now,
you guys, she does some amazing cosplay stuff. We got Red Dranger, the Red Wolf. If you guys have not checked out his cosplay, his different face paints, man, this dude's brilliant. Like, if you really want to find out about a story, you got to go through all of the individual characters and in his face paint. And if you can figure out his story, more power to you. You guys got to check out.
Nobody's figured it out yet. Nobody.
Yes, the beginning and read it. Younger Puklar.
Wait, what?
And it's all written in his face.
Elder.
Or
Yeah,
Elder.
Elder.
It's written in Elder Puklar stories, starting beginning of that face paint. He can story.
And not just the runes, but some of the sounds and videos themselves are about the story. It's interesting. Nobody's figured it out.
Research. You got to research him and check him out. You guys, everything, like me and Dranger have been talking about it. Like, we are pushing 92,000 on my page right now. Like, you guys are so freaking amazing. Like, I have not been here a year. And we're sitting at 92K. We hit 400,000 likes last week on my videos. Like, you guys have no idea how much all that means to me. Like, I'm a black sheep.
I like that question. Sorry, I just saw there was all he says is, all I want to know is what you guys would bring to the potluck. I like that question.
Food.
Fucking a pig that we're gonna roast in the ground.
I told him here, Mom.
Can you rephrase that?
A pig that we're gonna roast in the ground.
There we go.
But as always, thank you guys again for being so amazing, for like putting up with me, for following me, for liking me, for allowing Norse
for putting up with me.
It's not a me thing. It's not a her thing. It's not a you thing. It's a we thing, and we can't do it without each and every. And Dranger can fuck off because.